I have got no words, okay, to explain what we have just seen. All right, it has gone from the lowest of the low to the highest of the high in about, 7 minutes, if that? Absolutely unbelievable. First of all, before we get into anything, guys, we will be taking a couple of your calls in the Discord server a little bit later on. But just a massive thank you, because we've got 22 of you in the stream. It's midnight in America. It's 5:21 a.m. here. We're all tired. We're all buzzing. The Eagles, who went down 17-3 to the New York Giants, come back and pull off a ridiculous win. A frankly ridiculous win. JJ says, just I'm invited to say, what's up, going to be a good stream, and there's going to be a lot to talk about with this ugly win. Yeah, and I think that's important. I mean, don't get me wrong, the win's great. It's nice to see the Eagles moving in the right direction, taking care of business, as ESPN so bluntly kept putting it. Like, that was great. But at the end of the day, there was a mess to begin with. Like, the first 2.5, maybe even 3 quarters of that game were a shambles offensively. Defensively wasn't ideal. They definitely picked up in the second half. But even so, there's going to be a lot to discuss moving into Monday and Tuesday. But can we, for anyone that has been here a while, for anyone that has been around this channel for, let's say, around a year, okay, since the Eagles first signed Boston Scott, that's maybe followed my work for around the same sort of time, Boston Scott, if anyone was in the preseason stream, what a performance from the unlikeliest of candidates. Okay, no one expected that to kind of come out. The Eagles still struggled to, I think, balance their run-pass sort of thing. I mean, why they kept running on second and long, I will never know. But my God, Boston Scott, when anyone, at least nobody expected Boston Scott to break out in the way he did. So that was amazing to see. Big shout to him. Again, if you've been around this channel for a while, you know we have been massively high on him. I think we've had 2 film reams on him. We had one from the Saints preseason when the Eagles first poached him last year. We had another one, I think, after that as well. So I'm just going to cry after this. I've fallen in love well and truly tonight. And I know we've got some familiar faces in here as well. So we've got Duck, who pointed out, he knows, he's probably eye-rolling that I'm talking about Boston Scott. Tom Whitehouse is in and he's all aboard the Boston bus. Nice to see you. Peyton Brown, thank you for tuning in. Says at least we know one Eagle wants to play in the playoffs. And his little golden boots as well. Basically, if your surname's Scott in Philadelphia, you're a legend. You've got Mike Scott, Boston Scott. Any other surnames? I mean, Scott Kingery, but that's first name, I suppose. Jamal Marshall says Carson is clutch. Big point. And let's not forget exactly what Carson Wentz was working with here, right, at all. So Wentz comes out with 3 wide receivers, right? Somehow, the coaches in the front office, where there definitely isn't a disconnect, go 7 healthy cornerbacks, and 3 healthy wide receivers. That's a good balance. That's a good idea. That don't even bother deactivating a cornerback or making a funky move and keeping one on IR like Captain Craven who's only just come off. Let's just keep 7, right? I'm going to have 3 wide receivers. So then Olshon goes down. So you're down to Greg Ward Jr. and JJ Arcega-Whiteside. And the man who steps up, Arcega-Whiteside, big time, fair play to him. That was the best catch I've ever seen an Eagles receiver, mate. But genuinely, more than anything, Carson Wentz, without anyone outside of Zach Ertz, put that team on his back in the fourth quarter. And he just willed them on. And again, we can't grade leadership. We can't say what he's saying inside the huddle or outside the huddle or in the locker room. But what we can see is someone that just wouldn't back down, that wouldn't quit, that kept pushing, that kept throwing absolute lasers. And do you know what? It may have took 3.5 quarters for Greg Ward to not drop a touchdown pass or something like that. But my God, when he got going, you can see these little wrinkles that they're implementing now. There is a bit more play action that we saw last week. There is a little bit more from sprint outs and just different things they're trying to get him in. But that little flash of production we saw from Arcega-Whiteside really injected second wind into this offense, I think it's fair to say. That invigorated a new charge, and that's where you really saw this offense take shape. So I was absolutely stunned with that. Chris still wants a new offensive coordinator. I don't blame you. Teehee Thomas says, go Eagles, excited from Texas. Thank you for tuning in, man. I think that's a slightly different time zone, right? So I'm sorry if I'm keeping you up mega late. Jack says, if Wentz lost that game, it would have been on him and lost all his confidence. I don't think it would have been on him. I think he would have definitely taken a lot of accountability because all he's done all season is very much sort of take the heat off of the wide receivers, off of everyone else on the offense, and put it all on his own shoulders because that's what Carson Wentz does. He's very vocal like that. But we are going to get to a few of your calls as well. So guys, if you're in the Philly Sports Network Discord server, I know you've got like 11 of you online at the minute. Right at the bottom, there is a videos channel. If you go in the waiting room in there, I can drag you down. We'll have a little chat. We'll talk about the Eagles. If you're not in the Discord server and you would like to be a part of the Discord server because it's free, there is a link you can join. 120 away with a little over a month remaining. So if you could be a part of that community, we would love for you to join. Tom Whitehouse, 5:38. Dude, I know. I've had one Red Bull. I'm on about 5 hours sleep today. I've got a cup of tea next. I'm ready to go. I'm going to be here for about an hour and a half, providing I don't, pass out in the meantime. Lawrence Talley says, don't forget Ward and a tie. And yeah, Josh Perkins. I mean, okay, let's just go through today's game heroes, all right? So you've got Boston Scott, fair enough. Carson Wentz, we all know. Joshua Perkins, fair play to him, stepped up in a big way. Sidney Jones made arguably the biggest play of the game. I think that's safe to say, right? That's safe to say. Sidney Jones, out of nowhere, comes in and just, I don't know. Like, he got put into the game on the first play. Rasul Douglas comes out and he just flies in, makes a crucial pass breakup. And that's something you love to see after weeks of saying the Sidney Jones experiment is over and all of this. And Isaac's in the stream saying Boston's the go. We've got Brandon Lindemuth, who won the hearts of all of you last week with his very, very clear takes, or eloquently put, I should say. You can tell my vocabulary is already running dry here. Doug says we all knew Perkins can... Yeah, I mean, for me, Perkins, that one game last year, I think, against the Buccaneers, he had 50-odd yards, 58 receiving yards, I think. Again, I might be a little bit out on that, but it was roughly 58 yards. And then he had a 10-yard catch for a first down against the Colts the next week. So we all know he's got it in him. I think a year away from maybe the game and just learning under Zach Ertz and Dallas Goedert was handy. And I think that he does bring something a little bit different. Well, he's not as, I don't want to say thick, but like his frame isn't as bulky as Dallas Goedert. Goedert relies on his physicality a lot. Like, the guy's a giant, and that's what makes him so special. The difficulty is, though, that getting open in man coverage or press situations is a little bit harder because he has to bully his way through. He can't just kind of, he doesn't have the finesse that Zach Ertz does. Whereas Perkins is much more like a wide receiver that's bulked up a bit. It's sort of like a linebacker turned safety as opposed to a safety turned linebacker. So you get someone that can be a little bit of a pain for linebacker matchups because you're not expecting that kind of elusiveness. And I think that showed today. So a big shout to Joshua Perkins. Boston Scott is an offensive juggernaut, dude. I know. I'm still buzzing about that. Like, I'm absolutely elated for him. Like, what a journey it's had as well. Like, he was he was poached from the Saints practice squad. And let's not forget that during the offseason, he was going to be the guy. He was their RB 3 or 4. And then the team brought back Darren Sproles, and that bumped him back. And then he got wobbled around and flung to the practice squad, and that was it. Like, Darren Sproles' arrival put any progress of Boston Scott into complete disarray. So to see him come back and make an impact today in a crucial situation, like, I'm very, very impressed with that for sure. Perkins is a poor man's DK Metcalf. Let's maybe like a very, very poor man. Maybe. When's the Sean coming back? We don't know at the minute, Mario. It's around a few weeks, so I reckon it'll be like the first, second week of the playoffs. Playoffs just get in and anything can happen. See, now I heard someone the other day say, there's been a lot of debate recently with the Eagles about what you would rather have. Okay, so would you rather not tank, but would you rather get draft picks and get like maybe the 10th overall pick in the draft, or playoffs and a prayer? And I was just thinking, Bon Jovi, halfway there. Whoa! Playoffs and a prayer. And if I might have to make a Christmas album. We've got Clayton Thorson, playoffs and a prayer. Last Christmas I gave you my heart, but this year give it to Captain Craven. We've got all sorts of bangers. All right, we'll put them together. We'll donate the money to charity. Who knows? That could be something fun just in the running towards Christmas. Running backs got what they needed to shine. Yeah, it was a little bit disappointing to still not see much from Ajayi. Like, he's been around here for 4 weeks now? Nothing. Like literally just short yardage situations. That's a little bit of a shame. But that's it. Taj says it there. Any given Sunday, right? Any given Sunday. And that's how you have to look at it. I would much rather playoffs than a prayer, because it's like anything. Like, whether it's the NFL, whether it's soccer, and like my beloved little Charlton team, who they did a Wembley prayer this year. Like, no one thought they would win anything, and they did it. Like, that's what makes sport lovable, and especially in the NFL, where once you get to the playoffs, it doesn't matter what your seeding is. It doesn't. The Eagles proved that in 2017. It doesn't matter. Like, they were one pass away, arguably, from going toe-to-toe and maybe taking the Saints one further and winning that game last year. They beat the Bears last year. Like, it's possible. It really is possible. V for Peace says 10 out of 10 will off Liam's Christmas album. Dion, nice to see you in the stream, man. I know it's late for you. I know you've been a big supporter for a while. We really appreciate it. It says, with the personnel they have, Eagles cannot possibly be competitive in the playoffs. We all want to win in that awful division, but after that, that's the thing. And if you've been around this channel for a week or watched our recent uploads, you'll know that we put the playoff scenario video up. Like, realistically, you're looking at San Francisco or Seattle, which is by no means an easy matchup, right? Like, that's a 13-win team. The Eagles have already lost to Seattle. Seattle have had the Eagles number for around forever now, it feels like. You know, I mean, Russell Wilson against this Eagles team is just next level, and that's something you've got to come to expect. Whereas San Francisco, I would personally, I would rather face San Francisco than Seattle in that instance, because there is that mental aspect of Seattle now. If it doesn't matter whether they come to the link 3 times in 3 years, they've won every time. You know, like, it's really tricky. So I would rather face a fresh challenge in San Francisco, not have that kind of bug in the back of your mind, and just go out there and hopefully try and negate some of that intense defense. But who knows? I mean, once you get to the playoffs, it's a complete roulette wheel, right? Duck says the Giant needs Chargers. Lachlan Ross says sign Antonio Brown. I don't know. I mean, I still don't think Antonio Brown can type a coherent sentence. His agent has done him a solid with that Instagram post. I don't think Antonio Brown knows what half of those... No insult to him, but if you've seen his Twitter, doesn't exactly read like, you know, the great works of Shakespeare, unlike that Instagram post. So I don't know. I think he's realised he's made a boo-boo and his agent's trying to get him back in the league, and teams just don't want to know. Brandon says he's ready to be brought in. Okay, well, we'll get Brandon in very shortly. So we do have, again, if you are interested in joining the show today, and you're in our Discord channel, there is a videos tab on the channel section. Just go into there, click on waiting room, and I can drag you in and we can have a little chat. If you want to join the PSN Discord, it's there, which is going to come up like 5 seconds ago, so check that one out. And again, if you're new and you're not yet subscribed, it would be amazing if you could, because we need all the help we can get to make this go. And I promised I'd try and do daily uploads between like the 1st of December and the 24th. That got stifled a little bit, but from this day forward, I'm trying, alright? So I'll give you everything I've got if you give it back to me, alright? That's the deal. That's where we've always done it at PSN. So if you give me everything you've got, you know I'll return it 100%. Robocop Jeffries, I know he's been around here a while as well. Thank you for all your support. He says, if the Cowboys get into the playoffs, Coach Clapp stays. So I'm not, yeah. I don't know. I think even if the Eagles go enter the playoffs and crash out in the first round, like, it's not the end of the world. Like, I mean, and the other way to look at it is Carson Wentz still doesn't have a playoff snap under his belt. It is still a game of football, but there is that extra element of pressure, and you know that, I can't remember what the actual term is, but there's something happens to players in like clutch situations where they either heighten or they get this sense of like anxiety, where instead of thinking, oh my god, I'm going to make this catch, it's easy, it's, oh my god, I've got to make this catch, and you ramp pressure on yourself because of the magnitude of it. Wentz is still a young quarterback, you know, like the sooner you get him in there, you get him comfortable, acclimated. The Eagles should have a home game as well. That is definitely worth noting, that whoever they face, because they'll be division winners, they will technically get a home game out of it, which is terrifying, but that's huge for them. Like, that's really huge for them. If they can get home field advantage against a team like San Francisco, like, if the true identity of this team is underdogs, right, and even if it means being kicked to the floor over and over and over again, or if they're kicking themselves to the floor over and over and over again, it doesn't matter as long as they get that identity, and if it comes at the right time, then absolutely brilliant. Mark Robinson, how you doing, man? I hope you enjoyed the win. Jordy says Jenkins has 61 tackles compliant. McLeod has 59. Nate Gary has 55. Yeah, that is a staggering stat, as you can see my voice going. So as I begin to drift off into the land of Knob, we're going to bring on Brandon, who I know had some great points last time. So, with a bit of luck, there we go. So Brandon's back in the stream. Thank you for joining me, Brandon. How are you feeling?
What's up, Liam? Hey.
How you doing? You okay?
Excited to be just be excited to hang with you once more. Hey, I'm ready for a good one right now. Let's get into it. What do we got? What are you thinking right now after tonight's game on Monday Night Football?
I think I need a nap, if I'm honest. That drains everything out of me. My main takeaway. My main takeaway, I think, was it was like the unlikely heroes. It's Boston Scott. It's Sidney Jones. It's Carson Wentz being clutch. People knew he could do that, but it's Joshua Perkins. It's three names out of nowhere that came out, and really, even Vitae, that's not been mentioned yet. Replaced Lane Johnson. That's going to go massively under the radar. I know it wasn't perfect, but still, it's huge. That was a resilient to be 17-3 down at halftime to come back and win that game in the way they did with the personnel they had. Fair play. I don't care if it's the 2-10 or 2-9 Giants, or it's going to be like the 13-2 Niners. If you win a game in that situation, that's going to galvanize the locker room,
Yeah, this game brought a lot of positives and negatives to the table, and I think it's more than what most of us expected this season. You can go, we can start with the negatives to make the positives a little brighter.
I get the meat sandwich in, right? That's how you do. Start with the bread, we work in.
Yeah. I'm still trying to figure out, why does Doug Peterson seem to call his best game when it's late in the game? And I understand the team is in a late rally, but, a lot of us can look back at this and think, well, if he orchestrates this kind of offense on a more consistent basis, we're looking at an easy playoff contending team right now.
Yeah, and that's the thing, because you never know when it's going to happen. Out of nowhere, you went from everyone being infuriated in the first half and not knowing why he's running on second and long every single time. And, is it the lack of personnel? Is it grow? Why can't they score? It's 3 and out. It's X, Y, and Z. And then out of nowhere in the second half, it just clicked. I don't know what it was that clicked. Something clicked, and this team just caught fire.
Johnson go down. We've seen Alshon Jeffrey go down. Miles Sanders goes back in the locker room. He was dealing with cramp issues. And then late in the game, we see Arcega-Whiteside with some sort of hammy tweak. I seen him going to the sideline. He needed to be taken out. Yeah. One thing that really stuck out to me this game, you can sense urgency of 2017 all over again, where it's not the team collectively in an underdog mentality. There was an underdog mentality in the young players in the next man up attitude.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was a fantastic connection with, between these guys and the quarterback. Carson Wentz was making them look really good. JJ's ball tracking on that catch was unbelievable.
I'm still flustered, if I'm honest. It's going to get me. Let's not. Woo.
That was a bright moment to me, seeing him do that. Joshua Perkins, these guys aren't scrubs, for one. They're NFL players for a reason. They just need their opportunities. But it all comes down to the play calling that supports them best. So and we can track that back to Doug Peterson once more. But it's another thing with Carson Wentz's development. We've seen such a better consistency in 2017 because he had all the marbles on the table at that point. He had a great quarterbacks coach and Dave Filippo, who I believe they should pursue in the offseason to get that mentality across to where, all right, this is, just like the Seattle Seahawks did with Russell Wilson, just like what the Baltimore Ravens are doing with Lamar right now, Jimmy Garoppolo for the 49ers, the organizations are realizing that we gotta make this about our quarterback. We gotta build around him. We have to give him what he needs. And in the course of the game, especially in the first two quarters, there was a really weird play that stuck out to me. Carson clearly had a running lane for a first down, he stutters and tries to go for the pass. I'm thinking, well, Carson, what are you doing? It's unnatural to me. It's not like him. I think the coaching staff has it in his head to where, we're trying to bring your weaknesses to light and improve them. Well, not just in practice, but improve on them in game situations. And it's just, to me, you should not be doing that. You need to let the quarterback play the way he's used to. I understand they're concerned with injury, with his ACL, with the 2 ligament tears, but when are you going to give the opportunity for your quarterback to unleash not only himself but the offense? And there's just been, to me, that lack of support.
Do you not think that changed late in this game, like very late in that fourth quarter and beyond, where Wentz sort of by default was naturally just like instantly trying, whether it was designed rollouts or not, but was trying to get out of pressure and just make something happen. And like you said, there was that stutter where he went to pass it instead of running, and a couple other instances as well. But outside of that, like we've seen development in Wentz in a lot of aspects this year. The one I've noticed we haven't really is pocket presence, which he still struggles with. There's, again, we say it every week, but there's escapability and there's mobility. Like the difference between the two is quite important, I think, when looking at Carson Wentz. But his ability now to go through reads, which is what lacked, I would say, in the Patriots game and the Seahawks game, looked great against Miami doing it, and now he just looked comfortable. Like this is, I would say, oddly the most comfortable we've seen Carson Wentz in a while. Which is odd to say, I know, because you're facing, a tragic Giants defense that any defensive backs or anything. But given the lack of talent that he's got, to look as composed as he did, I mean, let's be honest, there was one drive, I think it was the drive that Elliott missed the field goal. The fans were booing the offense. It was like they were playing in Seattle. Like, the fans were booing the offense situation. Like, Wentz handled that. Like, that's a mature quarterback. And do you know what? Like, there are still flaws in his game. I think you're right. DeFilippo can absolutely help. But that was a mature performance from what's still a very young quarterback.
You know what? The more we look back and think about this, I think it's the matter of he realized that, the amount of injury that he dealt with on his front, the offensive front, he dealt with a lot of injuries. Yeah, there was a couple on the defense, but I think they were little dings. Jalen Mills, I'm not sure what happened to him. Rasul Douglas looked like he got nicked a bit. But when Carson, and this is one of his biggest maturity, regardless if you have to force overtime or not. When you need to score and your back is against the wall, this kid is making the plays that he needs to, because he realizes, he's getting plays in his ear from Doug. But I was seeing a lot of audibles from him to where he's changing the play call where he doesn't like something or he doesn't like what the defense is showing him. I was hearing a lot of audibles, a lot of he really liked the screen game because he noticed from the sideline that the Giants were doing the same exact thing to his defense. They were running the quick screens. Eli Manning is getting the ball out quick. So, him and Doug were probably conversing, and they're thinking, well, you know what? If it's working for them, I bet it can work for us, because we know we got guys that we're confident in that can execute that type of game plan. And I think that's where the tide of the momentum was starting to switch into Philly's favor. But that to me is one of the most important things that you can see in your franchise quarterback, knowing that he's really against the ropes, and they were down to they had no reserves at receivers, so you're running almost sets of 3 tight ends on the field.
Yeah.
Just the defensive coverages and everything. Like, that's just crazy to me, the dude. And he proved a lot of the doubters wrong tonight, because he came clutch when he needed to. So I think that can be put to bed at this point.
Yeah,
we know what we have.
Yeah, I think this was very much that statement game. Not that he needed one though, and this is the thing. Like, you've been paid $129 million. You've been given every sense of confidence, and that this has been Carson Wentz's team. I mean, the only time where there was an ever slight inkling that there's a hangover aspect was from the Super Bowl, which is natural because you weren't the guy that won it for the team. It was Nick Foles. Like, that was expected, but outside of that, it's just, I think, fans that are either clinging on to the Nick Foles thing, and that's natural, right? I mean, like, you know, it's sort of, for lack of a better analogy, getting into a relationship and still fancying your ex a bit and being like, oh, I was better with her. She wouldn't do that to me. She wouldn't turn the telly off. She'd let me watch Match of the Day. Like, it's that kind of thing. Whereas I think this was the game now where hopefully the majority of Eagles fans would look at that and say, that's my quarterback. Like, that's the guy that the Eagles have locked up for the next 5 years, and that's a blessing. So that's a great spot to be in. Great observations again, Brandon. Thank you so much for coming on. We're going to try and get as many people as we can. How can people follow you and your always eloquent takes?
Well, I mean, I'm always on the Discord. You know, whenever people are available, you can hit me up on the Discord. I do have a Twitter now at my same name on the Discord. Yes, just follow Lindy 2315. Yeah, I mean, going back to the Foles thing, I'll just point out it's like skipping the fireworks display and going to the grand finale. You forget who got you there in the first place. I think he made that statement tonight. But
absolutely,
another good take with you, Liam. Thank you for bringing me on, and have a good night, man. Thank you.
I'll have a good morning. At this rate, it's 6 a.m. We're flying through that. But I appreciate it, man. Thank you, buddy.
No big.
There we go. So Brandon, I know this is like the best part for me, just bringing as many of you guys on as we can. I know we've got a few more guys in the waiting room, so I'll bring you all in soon. All right, don't worry, I'm getting to you. Okay. I do want to have a little chat with you guys on the YouTube section. See, I've got so many things going at the minute. I've got a banging cup of tea there, so I want to get more of you on so I can drink that. Mate, I'm kidding. But I did want to say a big shout out to Lars Lewis, who I know does some great work over with the guys at Locked On Eagles. He's in the live chat. That's amazing. So if you don't listen to their podcast with obviously Gino and Louis as well, make sure you go and follow all of those guys. Let's see what you guys are saying in the YouTube section. V for Peace says, I believe he's on the Chargers practice. Okay, so we're just talking about a few wide receivers. Dion, this was not an easy win. The Eagles must get past the Redskins. Yeah, it's not easy because I think they'll be very, very annoyed that they'll be a bit bitter. They'll say it could be them. It should be them. Like if they'd have beaten the Packers, which is a monumental if, like if my aunt had balls should be my uncle, one of them. But they'll be a bit bitter. And having seen how woeful the Eagles were early, Aaron in week 1 came in, took an early lead, absolutely got ruined in the second half by the Eagles and Deshaun Jackson. Fly Eagles Fly says, Liam, I recall you for seeing Boston Scott's name. Hey, that wasn't my words that time. All right, I'm not gloating. That's Fly Eagles Fly. I'm just a passenger. But thank you, man. I appreciate it. I mean, this sort of thing now is why I love doing this channel. I mean, I always open up to my bad takes as well. I've been wrong a lot of times this year. But it's fun being right. And I think especially with someone like a Boston Scott or an Alex Singleton or someone like that where you dive that deep on the film and none of the other bigger sites are going to look at them because they're not a mainstay on that roster to begin with. That when you do get that right and then I'm showing you guys that, hey, look, this player exists, like opening that attachment and that kind of, oh, that's how I found him. That's the best thing for me. Like, absolutely love that. So I'm just glad I could bring him to a few people's eyes beforehand. And hopefully it's definitely not the last that we see of him. Let's see. He's missing open receivers. Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. This is probably not the game you want to criticise Carson Wentz. Well, we can do that any other day of the week for sure. Isaac says, hey, Liam. Hey, Isaac. It's never really fun. Yeah, I put a tweet up today. I was like, what song would you use to describe the Eagles season so far? And he said, It's Never Really Over by Katy Perry, which is a banger, by the way. Nothing wrong with Katy Perry. Banging song. Hot and Cold works as well when we're going down that road. Boston Scott went off today. Thank you, YOLO. I appreciate that, man. Thorson and we can't even say Sunday Ho. I can't say his name because it's just going to bring too much hurt into my voice. Wentz went full-blown Ultra Instinct and Scoot went Blue Evolution. Fisherman Frezzo, Wentz showed confidence in his wide receivers for once. Yeah, I think, you know what, it sounds silly, but even having Josh Perkins around, someone that he would have worked with a lot. Liam needs to be an Eagles coach. Oh, I would be an awful Eagles coach. There's a series on my YouTube channel where I play like NFL head coach 09, and it goes horrifyingly bad. I need to get that back sorted again, actually. Now I've got the little green screen, but maybe we'll work it out. Maybe we'll start streaming NFL head coach. Who knows? That could be something fun we do down the line. But what we'll do then, let's grab someone else from Discord. Guys, if you're not in our Discord server yet, and you want to be part of the Discord server, right? This is a big one. I'll get the link. I'll pop it in here. You can join it. It's all fine. Right, there you go. That's the Discord link. It's 80 of you watching. Guys, it's only 1 in the morning for you. It's 6 for me. Well, I don't know what time zone you're on. But yeah, let me know where you're watching from. That'll be cool because I want to see where you all are. Who's in England with me? We had someone in Texas. I know we've got someone in California. I know that for sure. I know we've got a few people in, well, obviously a lot of people in Philly. When am I starting that up again? I don't know. Hey, right, Jordy, it lasted at least 4 videos, all right? Cut me some slack. No, I'm kidding. But it just got difficult to film, like, because the games, it's easy to have, like, a 10-minute video. The games take, like, 45 minutes each time. Then all the stuff behind it. Then editing, chopping it up, on top of all the videos. It's 10 in California. Right, cool. Good to know. See, I'm getting there with this time difference thing. Let's get some more Eagles reaction then from you guys. Again, if you're not subscribed, right, hit that big red button now. I'm going to check how many subscribers we're on. And I promise you, alright, I will cry a little bit if we can hit, what are we on now? 832. Alright, if we can hit 14,840, so that's 8 more subscribers, I'll cry, probably. So if you're not subscribed, yeah, that'd be a cool time to do it. So we've got people in Maryland, we've got people in Norristown, Vancouver, South Jersey. Right, let's see who... Oh, my torch has come on my phone. That's not gone well. Get that off, right. On that note, Jared... Let's not be doing that, okay? You can get a little timeout. There you go. That's not fun, is it? Hey, alright. Some of us just prefer talking about football, and that is absolutely fine, okay? Brian, watching from a cruise ship in the Caribbean. We stan. I'm very jealous of you for that. Right, let's bring in guest numero 2. Oh, I've done it again. I've dragged him out of a conversation. I'm sorry.
End of the third, the whole beginning of the fourth.
Oh, hello. I did the thing again. I'm sorry. I dragged you out of a conversation every time. That's the 3rd time in a row. I've just pulled him out mid-conversation and just put him on air, and he carries on. He solders through. He soldiers through the point. Jay Fizzle Dizzle. He's becoming a regular.
What is up?
How are you doing?
What is up, my guy? I'm ecstatic right now, and also extremely pissed off. And I'm trying to find, like, I'm so happy that we won. Like, it's like being given water after walking through the desert for so long. Like, I'm refreshed. But at the same time, it's like looking at this game was like literally everything we've been saying for the past 3 weeks finally came to fruition, and they changed something, and now everything starts to look a lot better. But yeah, I don't even know. All right, let's just start with like look good. The good is Carson got a clutch win under his belt. Like a legitimate. This is my team. We about to go get this done. I'm tired of the games. I'm tired of the bull. We should just go figure it out. I'm gonna go put this on. Excuse me for the background noise. I'm in a bus station. I just got off of work. So. Oh wow, dude,
that's dedication. You're at a bus station. In the stream, firing off takes. That's dedication. I mean, I've got to tell my radiator that I'm sweating right now. Right, so what I'm going to do, you can take the floor with your takes. I'm going to run and tell my radiator down because I'm going to pass out in a minute otherwise.
No, go for it.
All right, go.
Yeah, no, but I'm extremely excited the fact that we got a win. I'm excited that Carson got one of these clutch games under his belt. Again, earlier in the season, I was saying that people dropping passes were honestly messing with Carson's legacy. What I mean by that is, like, we have those games where we're looking at Aaron Rodgers, where he was out here having 4th quarter Hail Mary comebacks and willing his team to victory and everything like that. And Carson was putting that same energy in. It was just literally the pieces around him were failing. Today was one of those days where it could have ended up like it did early in the season, where we have no receivers. We just got people dropping early. We had Greg Ward had a beautiful pass, and he just bounces off his hands. But no. Somehow, some way, he wills the team. He makes no mistakes. He has some mistakes early in the game, but as far as down the stretch goes, outside of the bad pass that he locked up, which is again just a Brett Favre in his soul of him just being like, I'm gonna make a play, or I'm gonna get this ball out of here, and that's just the type of thing. But it didn't cost us the game or anything like that. It's just this is one of the games I was so excited to finally have. That's a divisional game. It's a game you need to win, and you come in as our leader and go ahead and put your foot in the ground and go, no, this is where we stand. This is how we get things done. And on top of that, too, looking at the receivers and the pieces that he had around him, again, you had JJ out there making plays. You had Boston Scott, another young guy that we've had on the roster for about 3 years now, but he's still a younger guy. Miles Sanders was out there. Granted, he went out because of the cramps, but he came back. It's literally looking like the young core that we finally had, and all the pieces that we finally had on this team got a chance to shine and got a chance to do a thing. And that gave me genuine hope for the future of being like, this team could be fine. We could be just okay. Like, we'll be okay for a little while. We could be cool.
It's just like, the thing is about Philadelphia fans, I mean, you can vouch for this. I think everyone that's part of this community I mean, bear in mind, there are 82 of you at what is roughly 1 a.m. across America-ish, right? So that's the dedication we're talking about, right? Like, we've all known for the whole season that on paper, this roster is stacked with young talent, all right? Like, but then Boston Scott gets bogged down the roster because of Darren Sproles. You then have Zach Brown, he bumps down Alex Singleton, TJ Edwards. You then have, like, obviously Arthega-Whiteside can't get on the field because he gets lapped up with 1 million books for no reason. Like, there's so many weird things where the young talent gets just shoved down and buried, and now they have a chance to shine. I mean, like, I'm not being funny, but Jason Peters, how many more penalties does he going to get that kill drives, right? Oh, God, I've set him off. Right? Whereas Andre Dillard... Andre Dillard on the left...
Go ahead.
I think I've just triggered him a little bit. I'm sorry. I just set him off.
Man, listen, it's literally every week he's costing us a play. Every week he is costing us a false start and a play. And it's sometimes it's points, sometimes it's positive yardage. Every week it's a problem. And you can't say, like, you want to go off because you're like, dude, like, you're bringing us down. At the same time, you realize that it's JP. He's a Hall of Famer. He's been rocking with us through good and bad and everything like that. We get it. But come on. At some point, man, you either got to take it upon yourself or the coaches have to take it upon themselves and go, all right, look, man, we're going to have to sit you down, big fella. We're going to have to put you in the back and just let Andre do his thing for a second. Like, come on.
Do you know what I think it is, though? Genuinely, right? And this is like a segment that would go on This Week in Philadelphia Sports on a Tuesday because it's, anyway. Like, it's because he looks like a big cuddly bear. He doesn't look scared. So it's like, they'll sit him down and be like, look, Jason, all right, cut it out. And then he'll just look at them with those big brown eyes and he'll put a sorry face on and they'll go, oh, no, go back out there. And then he just looks he doesn't look aggressive. Like, I wouldn't tell Lane Johnson to stop misbehaving. I might get punched. Jason Peters, I don't know. I think I might. Because he just doesn't look as scary.
Tell him to cut it out.
Yeah.
Time out.
I could put Jason Peters on a naughty step and I'd feel terrible. Lane Johnson, I'd go to put him on and hit me with the naughty step. So it's like, it's two very different dynamics. But yeah, I fully agree.
Real quick, going back to, you made a point a couple of weeks ago when we were playing Seattle. We moved Andre from the right side, or from the left side to the right side, right?
Right.
And you were like, I remember you going off, and you were just like, JP decided to finally show up and go ahead and take the right side. I was screaming because I'm like, all right, cool, Rain's going down, right? And Big V, he did decent. I mean, he gave up a couple of big plays that could have really messed up Carson and everything like that. But again, Andre is sitting there on the bench. He can go ahead and put him at left. Go ahead and move JP over to right. Boom, the offensive line is still clicking and going, and we're still good to go. Even that coaching decision I would have been cool with. That didn't make sense to me that Andre didn't get on the field till later in the game and he ran the jumbo set, which was ridiculous.
Yeah.
But again, man, that's whatever. That's whatever. It is what it is.
It is what it is. I mean, we've got the win. We've secured the back, which is all that matters, right? I mean, the main thing is the story goes on. The stress continues, and we live to fight another day.
And that's the thing right there, though. That is the thing that is killing my soul right now, is to look at this offense and go, literally for half a game, you guys decided to show up and be the offense that we know you could have been from week one. This is ridiculous that it took this long for everybody to get on the same page. And that's what I was going to ask you. Like, is there any way you can find out who is directly responsible for going, all right, we're going to go ahead and just we're going to run the up tempo. We're going to go ahead and start running screens with these people. Boston Scott's just going to go ahead and put him in as much space as possible and let him do his thing. Why is it taking this long for us to have the pieces that we had?
Yeah.
Why did it take us literally? We could have won the Seattle game with this offense. We could have won the Patriots game with this offense. Like, we were literally, when Jenkins was playing top tier, our offense let us go. So where in the hell was all of this the whole time? And it's just, I'm happy. Like, I'm excited. We got the Giants, we took it down. Like, come on, man. Like, 3 weeks of this? 3 weeks of this? And we just now getting it together? Like, everybody who played tonight was on the team in one way or another. The only person that got brought up was Greg Ward. That's it. But Boston Scott been here the whole year. We couldn't figure something out with him. J.J. Arcega-Whiteside was literally just holding clipboards on the sideline.
Yeah, I know.
He couldn't do nothing. Like, literally, come on now. And this is the magical... This is the love-hate relationship I have with Philadelphia Eagles.
If this is you happy... If this is like, I'm just saying, if you asked for an Xbox for Christmas and got a PlayStation, I would not want to be in that room. I would not want to be there.
It's just passion because I love.
I know. I love it.
I hate things that don't make sense. And just that doesn't make sense.
I know.
We have all these magical pieces. Some pieces were better than other pieces. Again, you have Jordan Howard most of the season, and then we just go, we're just not going to run the ball. Literally, us running the ball is what put us in position to win this game tonight. It's just going, all right, cool.
Put
people in space.
Was it you I had the conversation with recently, though, where I was like, it's the same running back story every single year, right? Like, right? It's the same thing. There's something fundamentally flawed with the coaching staff where it takes them being kicked in the groin so much where they go, do you know what? That's actually painful. I might want to move out of the way. And it's something has to tick.
Off the hot stove.
And hopefully we've just about figured it out. But we survived. I mean, I wasn't. When you said you were happy, I was expecting a nice, joyful call. But I think you've made everyone's the whole chat is blowing up. So I mean, someone's scared of waking their wife up with laughter. So you've done that. But honestly, man, thank you for coming on. How can people follow you on Twitter? Because I didn't realize. Firstly, quick apology. I didn't realize I wasn't following you on Twitter until today, and I felt awful. So that's changed now, but I felt awful. So that's all sorted.
You know what's crazy? I wasn't even because I don't know how to explain it. It's not that I expected you to follow me on Twitter. It's not I was like, oh man, it's nice that you like my tweets sometime or anything like that. I was not expecting that. So the moment that you followed me, I was like, oh snap! That's a great day. No matter what, Liam followed me on Twitter, so I can go to bed happy tonight. That was awesome. So like I said, don't even trip about it, man. I was just genuinely happy that you decided to follow me. But my Twitter is JDOTRELL. So just at me, come follow me. All I do is talk about Eagle stuff and hit Liam up and ask him crazy questions about superheroes and whatnot. So
that's the dream. I mean, it's better than people asking if I can ski. Well, we'll take it.
Where's that coming from? Why is that a thing?
I don't know, but the fact is, it was an email. That's what I don't get. It wasn't someone tweeted me asking a question for the podcast. They emailed me with the subject podcast question and was like, "Don't have social media, so do you ski?" And I was like, great. I don't know what I can do with that. But
I realized I had an existential crisis because I was like, am I old? Like, is this a joke? And I'm old? Like, I passed it? Like, I was looking at everything. I looked it up. I was like, what the hell is going on here? But no, that was just a strange question. But yeah.
Unbelievable. But listen, man, thank you for coming on and brightening everyone's evening.
Thank you, man.
That was a hell of a segment.
Alright, man. You guys have a good night, man.
You too, man. Talk to you soon.
Alright, bye.
Alright, okay. So, great stuff there from Jay Fizzle Dizzle, as always. Big shout. We actually did gain a subscriber. So, Melissa subscribed. There we go. We're flying. Let's see how many we're on now. Have we come close to our goal? After bless his little... So, Jay Fizzle Dizzle went in. He was so happy, but he went in. We're getting 2. Right, we're 6... No. Yeah, 6 away. We're still going to have more of you, don't worry, but I did want to just switch back to YouTube chat, see how you guys are getting on. I don't want to leave you unattended. You like my little kids? I can't leave you running around. Actually, quick message to, who was it? Alex Joseph said Jason Peters would eat my English arse. Look, if he's into it, fair enough. Obviously he would. He's like 300 pounds and I'm 6'3" and built like a tree branch. Like, I'm not beating anyone in a fight. Behave. No news on Lane Johnson yet that I know. Right, now something has come up in the YouTube chat. Before I get to that, Sin Lu Hu says, when am I coming to Philly? It was meant to be like this week. And I was going to put on a big Christmas party for all of our writers at PSN. And we had a venue. I'm not going to name them, although I should. And they pulled out. All right? They did me dirty. They bailed at the last second. We had everything sorted. It was all going to go well. And they pulled out. I wasn't happy with it. It is what it is. But I want to wait and make sure we do it all properly. So I'll be out soon. Don't worry. And we'll have loads of meetups. And we'll have parties and lots of fun and shouting about the Eagles, which is what we're all here for. John Montoya, I don't think I've said hello to you yet, but I know you've been in the stream asking a few questions. So thank you for coming in. OG Taylor 215. Oh my god, my voice went. Says there's no reason it should have went to overtime. I agree fully. YOLO FTW, thank you for the follow, man. I appreciate that. Mad Eagle says just need to play more of an up tempo. Yeah, right. Okay, two things that annoyed me about tonight. One, the Book of Eli, that can get in the bin. I'm never watching the film, the Book of Eli. I'm never reading the actual Book of Eli. That's ruined it for me. Awful segment. Every other 2-minute drill was, and this on the Book of Eli. He's what's he done here? He's played 400 games. Yeah, 400 games. Eli, 400. It was a waste of time. And the other thing people are talking about is Ronald Darby. And am I going to sit here and say I told you so? Probably, because that's what I seem to do every week. And it's just because it's funny. Like, I'm not that arsed about it. And I said at the start of the offseason, you know it by now, that Ronald Darby was the worst signing of the offseason because he can't tackle. And everyone's going, but he's quick and he can run. And he's worth 8.5 mil. He's not. He's awful. All right? He's been awful. That hasn't changed. For Wentz, I have a wide receiver that speaks volumes relentlessly. By the way, it's a division game regardless of records. Bang on, fair play. See, I haven't seen the movie, The Book of Eli, but I might have to. Now, we are going to bring someone on who I know has snuck in here. Lars Lewis, is he? Did that work? Is he in? No, he's gone again. He's just disappeared completely. I tried. I don't know where I've dragged him. I tried to bring in Lars. He's back. Hang on. Hello? Is he in? Lars? Hello? Oh, the suspense is killing me. It might be working. There's no sound. I might have to just make... I don't know what he sounds like. Well, I do, but I couldn't impersonate it. Okay, right. Lars, your mic isn't working. So what we're going to do is drag... Oh, he's gone. Okay, right. I can fill time. Don't you worry. Miles Sanders should have had a touchdown in overtime. Yeah. Do you know what? It wouldn't surprise me. I know Miles Sanders was out for a little bit, like with injury-related stuff. But... you can kind of see why they went with Boston Scott, who just runs with a little bit more decisiveness to his play. So I get that. I hate Darby and his padding. Yeah, I don't. Dude, Ronald Darby playing corner is like how I would play if I played cornerback. It's not pretty. We don't look... Yeah, I'm not a fan of having AB either. I'm really not a fan of that. Like, I haven't been for a while. AB's in the right frame of mind. No, that's fair. I think, given the minute, this team surely... should only get healthier, right? That's the good news. I don't want to jinx it. And obviously, like, Lane Johnson went down for a bit. But theoretically, it should only get healthier. Like, Jordan Howard should be coming back soon. You should get Nelson Aguilar back. Alshon Jeffrey should be okay. This was probably the best game to have the worst scenario possible. Because, like, it's the Giants. You can pull it back. It's the same as it was in week 1, you know? Jenkins saved Mills in the one end zone play where Tate was wide out. I did save Mills, Roman. You're right. I did save Jet. No, I'm kidding. Get rid of Darby. Yeah, hey, I'm just saying. But update on subscriber count. All right, we're going to go again. We've gained another one. So I can't see who they are, but we'll shout out Melissa again because I know she subscribed once. Maybe she's making burner accounts into subscribing twice. Who knows? But we're 5 away from our goal of gaining 10 tonight. Let's see. Can we get someone? Is Lars here? Lars has gone. Okay, so we've got Geordie. Is Geordie ready? I'm not sure. I blame Liam. What do you mean? Yeah, okay, fair enough. Geordie, if you're ready, mate, give me a shout in the chat. I'll bring you in. We can have a little talk. David Maybury, thank you for tuning in, man. So San has literally had a block and the whole outside to run. Yeah, hang on. We've got an update on Alshon Jeffrey who said he felt something pop. Oh, that doesn't sound good. That really doesn't sound good. I don't know what it could have been. Like maybe a... What's the thing called? It's not an Achilles, is it? At the back of your foot, lads. What's it called? I can't remember now. I'm trying to think of. It might be the Achilles tendon. It's the one where like when it snaps, right? It makes like a gunshot sound. I can't remember what it's called, but it's like it's really tight, like a rubber band. And if it snaps, it goes bang. That's my guess. It might be one of them. Other than that, I couldn't tell you what it is. I'm not a doctor. It was an ankle injury, so I'm thinking back of it, bang, pop, could be. Probably scaring a lot of you right now. I'm not meaning to. I don't know anything about injuries, so this is just pure speculation on my part, alright? Plantar... Do you know what's really weird with plantar fasciitis? It is the Achilles. Okay, cool. Glad they messed it up. Do you know what's weird with plantar fasciitis, right? Is that a lot of people don't know that Jason Kelce has it. So the Eagles starting centre, the most I can't talk. I'm running out of words, lads. It's 6 a.m. Most athletic man, like, on the offensive line, arguably, right? Okay. Everyone's saying Achilles. I got it right. I'm proud of myself. Has plantar fasciitis, and my mum has it, right? So they're best friends. But basically, plantar fasciitis can be really difficult. So my mum used to work in a supermarket, had to wear like special shoes, and she'd like hobble to work. Like she'd find it really if she's up for a while and walking around, she's fine. But getting out of a chair or something, she like struggles and she has to she limps a bit. So imagine that with a 300-pound man playing against the very best in the world. Jason Kelce does that, and he's still elite in his position, which is bloody remarkable. I know that's something the British thing I've ever said, but that is insane. Like, absolutely insane. So, yeah, there's a little fun fact for you. Right, now, we're going to try Geordie, because I think Lars was sorting his mic, so we're going to try and bring Geordie Fighter in. Geordie, here. Is he alive? Is he in?
Hello?
He's here! He's alive. Right, Geordie, how are you doing?
Good.
Yeah? How are you feeling after the win?
Yeah,
okay.
multiple different emotions.
Yeah. It's a bit of a mixed one, isn't it? Alright, so what's your main takeaway from the game?
Hello?
Oh, there we go, hang on. What's your main takeaway from the game?
So, Wentz is going to use some 2-minute rollouts.
Yeah?
So, he's running, I want to say about, I don't want to say 200%, probably about let's say 10% of rollouts. How many of them work, though?
Yeah, I don't know, and that's the thing I think we saw last game where I felt that they were effective, but they weren't that they became too readable in my opinion. Whereas because the run game wasn't there, whereas this game, at least to begin with, there was much more of a sturdy run pass balance, so he was able to get a bit more open. I think definitely later in the game when he was audibling a bit more, we started to see him come to life. But it's weird, until I go back and watch the film, I wouldn't really be able to give you a stern answer on it. But it's something I've noticed. It's definitely been a new wrinkle. So maybe this is just them trying to add a couple different things and see if they can really try to move it to Carson Wentz and mould it around him, which is what everyone's been shouting about anyway and wanting to. So who knows? But that would be my thesis, that I think they're just trying to find different ways to get Carson Wentz outside the pocket where he's got, one of the best QB ratings in the league.
Yeah, and this game, there was a lot more of oddballs, play changing, a lot of it by Wentz. And I think he should have been doing this weeks ago.
Yeah, and it's tricky. We don't know how much is or isn't changing. And there's been a few nods. There was one last week that I noticed with Alshon Jeffrey. That was a big one. But it's tricky though. It's really tricky to kind of grade that sort of thing because we know he can do it. He's been doing it for ages. It's just sort of situational at this point, and you want to give him that much more control. So I don't know. We'll see. But it's nice to see him get that kind of control after weeks of frustration, for sure.
Yeah, and now you got to look for who's going to come in at wide receiver because we have Jackson down.
Alshon's
our
popped
second Whiteside had, I want to say he may have aggravated something.
Yeah.
But I'd watch him in practice because he could aggravate it again.
That's fine.
And then, while we're on topic of injuries, Howard was supposed to come back this week.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that stinger. That's something I think people need to... I'm not sure the extent of it. It's one of those things they're just trying to cover up and say he's trending in the right direction and one of those. So we'll keep an eye on it. But I think wide receiver, what would likely happen is that there would they'd bring down a DB or probably even waive Suarez. The only reason they called him up was because there was I don't know which team it was, but there was another team trying to look at him. So they tried to just bring him up, make sure no one gets him. Maybe that team has found a guard now, so that there isn't a need for Opeta, and they can just land him back on the practice squad and bring up someone like maybe Mark and Michelle. That would be my obvious pick as someone that stand in all preseason. That would be the guy I go to. But that would be what I see happening. Like in a dream scenario, they'll just move Opeta because that team that wanted him has now got a guard. And then they'll move up Mark and Michelle.
Yeah, and the passing game really kind of reflected on what Wentz can do. Because I've stats pulled up. 300 passing yards, and he had 5.7 average yards per pass. So that's a first down on average every 2 plays.
Yeah, and bearing in mind, I mean, the very start of that game, the Eagles were averaging it was 1.1 yard per play or something stupid. So to come alive and just lift that offense out of hell by himself was outstanding, absolutely outstanding. It may not have been their most picture-perfect performance. It wasn't the tidiest or the best we've seen him play, but in terms of the grit and the determination and the willingness to put that ball in the perfect spot nearly every time, you couldn't ask for a more efficient performance. So I think that's been the main takeaway I think everyone's agreed on, is that this was like the Carson Wentz game. Like, we know Boston Scott stole the limelight a little bit, but this was the game where Carson Wentz actually put the team on his back and was like, nah, we're not going down today. And that was something that fans have been dying for, I think.
Yeah, and Boston Scott and Miles Sanders are sharing carries this week, which is something we haven't seen since Howard was healthy. Yeah,
so it'll be very interesting to see if Howard comes back, what happens with that backfield. Because all of a sudden you're going to have, it's 4 backs again, isn't it? Like, Ajayi's going to be in there. You're going to have Scott in there. He's been great now. Sanders and obviously the returning Howard. So is Ajayi just going to be kicked out in the same way Jordan Matthews was? Like, I don't know. That's something to watch as well. That's a good observation, that.
Yeah, and I wouldn't really trust the medical staff on a diagnosis because with how bad they've been all season.
Yeah, I think we would just kind of agree that, whatever the Eagles medical staff say, just go with the opposite. If someone's got they've got a shoulder tear, basically what's happened is they've ripped their Achilles off and their groin hurts. That's the way the medical staff goes.
Yeah, and like an example of that, Jackson.
Yeah.
When they're saying, he's day-to-day, he should be here any week. Say that for 4 weeks, and then you bring him in and he gets hurt again.
Yeah, it wasn't brilliant. So, but luckily the good news is there's only a few more weeks of that, and then there's probably going to be a massive investigation like there was last year. So, either way, good result. Wentz was great. Everything's sort of okay. There seems to be, I was expecting there to be a lot more calmness. Everyone's still a bit angry, which is exactly what makes Philadelphia so great, because there was a lot to be critical of that game. I just thought that, almost the hysteria of the win, probably euphoria of it, would just overthrow everyone. But it hasn't, which is fair. So we're going straight into the criticisms. So what I would say we'll end with, what's your one thing you're looking to change between now and next Sunday? If you could change one thing.
Honestly, it would be let Carson call more plays in the huddle.
Yeah? There we go. Well,
because
what we'll do...
You look at how efficient this offense is when Carson's calling plays out of the huddle and audibling, and they were efficient this game due to it. So why not step up a little bit and let him call out of the huddle? Yeah,
just let him go full Aaron Rodgers at this point. Just like Doug can have a little cup of tea on the sideline. Let's let Carson do his thing, and I'll probably be just as efficient. So it's interesting. Well, I'm sure he's going to take a little bit more responsibility on now as time goes on, because you're right, he was absolutely excellent. So thanks for coming on, Jordy. How can people follow you on Twitter?
I have my Twitter under the same name as my YouTube, and I have my Discord.
Which is JordyFighter141 or 14? Oh, it is 141, isn't it?
Yeah.
See, I always should say 14. I'll let you down. My bad. So JordyFighter141, thank you for coming on to the show again. I know you're a regular. And what time is it over there?
1:20 in the morning.
MVP behaviour. Right, go and have a rest, or I'm going to tie you off in a minute, all right?
No, I'm staying on the stream till it ends.
Look at that, MVP behaviour. Right, Jordy, thank you for coming on, my man. Thanks for sharing your opinions, and we'll bring you on again soon.
Yeah.
There we go. Great stuff from Jordy. Right, okay, we've got 69 of you, lads. in the stream. Thank you so much. Let's see what the YouTube chat is saying. I know we've got Lars, who is going to break. I think he might be our last Discord guest of the afternoon. If you do want to join the Discord, all right, I'll pop the link in the chat again. There it is. If you want to come on, say hello, talk to all of us. There's a few people. We've got a big queue. How many people have we got now? I'm not sure. We've got close to 100. Hang on, have we got it? 87 plus. Right, I'm not counting the writers or the bots. So 87 plus 11 is not. Oh my god, my brain's fried. It's 6:29. 90. What's going on? 87 plus 11. 90. We're 2 people away. All right, we're 2 people away on Discord. If you click that link, all right, it's free. Join the community. Loads of fans here. You can talk to Jay Fizzle Dizzle. You can talk to Brandon. You can talk to Geordie. You can talk to all the boys and all the toys. I don't think we've got a girl in there yet. So, you know, maybe one day down the road you can all meet. Imagine that, a PSN love story. We can all listen to Taylor Swift then. Mario says, this was our most emotional win all year. First time the offense pulled one out for us. Absolutely agree with you, man. Absolutely agree. Yo, so you think it's okay how I waited a draft pick on Clayton? Right, who said Clayton Thorson? We haven't played the song. Have I got it saved on here? I don't know. I don't know. Do I? Do I? I do! Right, the Clayton Thorson song's here. Someone mentioned Thorson, and I saw the comment in the chat. I saw, don't mention Thorson, because Liam will start singing. The Eagles have won a game. We're going to go one better, and then we're going to talk to Lars. So, for the sake of the Eagles winning, alright, a tribute to the Eagles legend that is Clayton Thorson, one last time. Clayton Thorson, da 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 da. Clayton Thorson, da 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 da. Clayton Thorson, da 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 da. Clayton Thorson, da 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 da. Clayton Thorson. You love me, all right? Yeah, I know. I've muted the mic. There you go. You love me, I know. See, maybe, hang on. Maybe Liam's love life will be improved because of the Discord. Right, let's not jump to conclusions, Isaac, alright? Let's not get that far ahead. Alright, who wants, okay? I'll tell you what, I will make you a deal, okay? I will tell you the most embarrassing thing that happened to me last week regarding my love life if we get 5 more subscribers, okay? So we're on 35, but we can get to 14,840, which was our goal tonight. Alright, if we get 5 more subscribers, I will give you the interesting tidbit that happened to me this week with regards to my love life, which was, it's embarrassing, alright? It's bad. It defines why I'm so hopeless and why I've got so many podcast analogies, alright? They keep racking up. So if you want it, you've got to hit subscribe now. We need 5 of you and the song comes out. We've been here for an hour. I know Lars has been sat there waiting. We're going to try and bring him in one more time. Lars, are you with us? Not really sure what happened there. Lars' mic went a bit. I'm not sure what that was. Sorry. Right. Well, we'll try that. We'll try again. We'll give him a second go. Oh, Lars. Oh, it's happening again. It's happening again. I'm going to get copyrighted in a minute. Something's gone wrong there. I have no idea what Lars is doing. Alright, we're trying to bring... It's not working. I don't understand people talking about draft picks when you're in the playoff. Future is in your own hands. I played football for Dougie P. What do you... When? Hang on, Mad Eagle. What do you mean you played football for Doug Peterson? When? I very much need to hear this because, dude. Oh, is it actually? Oh, okay. I'm sorry. We tried. Right, Lars, if you're in the stream, your microphone's gone a bit AWOL. Let's just sort that one out. Am I on hold? If he's put me on hold, I'm fuming. That's rude. That. What have we not spoken about in today's stream? So we've spoken about Carson Wentz, which I think we're going to touch on tomorrow anyway. Obviously, you know, it's probably the biggest takeaway from the whole game is Carson Wentz. We've spoken about Boston Scott. We've spoken about Miles Sanders to a degree, the offensive line. Zach Ertz running backwards. We haven't touched on that. Not really sure what happened there. Caught the ball, turned around and fell over. That happened. That was good. Believe it or not. And I know that because that's a fact. And his last one came against Detroit in 2015. I know. All right. I'm just an encyclopedia of somewhat useful information sometimes. We spoke about Liam's failed love, like round 2 to take. Right, I'm going to try and let. So someone just say ketamine. All right, hey, lad, Mario, whatever you do to celebrate this win is up to you. All right, if you want your jaw swinging like a ship at a theme park, that's on you. We can't be encouraging that kind of behaviour here, though. Why have I never written a love ballad for Boston Scott? I don't know. Good question. Pass rush was terrible. I don't think it was. I mean, the thing is, Roman, that every time the Eagles play the Giants for, I would say, at least the last 3 years, what you see is the quarterback getting the ball out ridiculously quick. It started in 2016, that I noticed it at least, with Jalen Mills, when they were just picking on him over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. Like, he got like 13 tackles in a game, and everyone's like, well, we lead the team in tackles. And I'm like, yeah, because he's been targeted 57,000 times. So it's going to happen. But basically, if the Eagles are going to play off coverage, and they've got a rampant pass rush, right, basic math says you've got angry people here that get to you quick, and you've got a chance to exploit space really quickly because there's no one there, you just throw it there. So, I mean, I think interior pass rush lacked a bit today, but in terms of pressure and actually getting to Eli Manning and making life uncomfortable, I was a big fan. Now, apparently we've gained subscribers. Someone said they've subscribed, so I don't know when this updates. I might have to go on, is it Social Blade? I don't really look at it, to be honest. I need to vouch for this. I'm just rushing on my phone. See, it still says 35, but I'll give you the benefit of the doubt, all right? And we'll end on this point, because we've been alive for an hour now. So, well, what we'll do then, if you guys want to ask me anything for the next, I don't know, 10, 20 minutes or so, who thinks LJ's love life story is a bad approach? Who thinks it's a missed opportunity? What, my love life? No, there's no opportunity there. I can promise you that. Right, you mean not my approach? Oh, no, okay, right, so I'll tell you the story, lads. Strap yourselves in. You've had 68 minutes of Eagles talk. Let's have a quick ad break. Okay, Liam Johnson. Right, I'm very well. Hey, enough of that, alright? We're not getting into that discussion. LJ After Dark is happening again. Right, basically, we're not talking about knees. We're not talking about the knees. I was in the supermarket. Okay, I was getting a nice meal deal, which I don't know if you have them in America, but you have like a sandwich, a drink, and a snack, and it's one cheap price. It's brilliant. Okay, you can customize it. It's great. It was late at night. I'm on a broken body clock. Remember, it's 6:30 in the morning. I'm buzzing at this point, so I go in there around 10 in the evening. They're about to close. I'm going to the fridge to get a sandwich, and she's pulling them all forward because obviously next day's tomorrow. And I was, excuse me, can I grab a sandwich? And she's quite fit, this girl, right? She's quite, you don't say fit, she's quite hot. So I start talking, and this guy behind me, the security guard, was like, you can only have a sandwich if you pull them forward. And she was like, no, don't worry. So I was like, oh, no, that's okay. Like, don't worry. Like, I used to work in a clothing shop, and now I can't go into any clothes store without rearranging stuff in size order, right? Because you just work in retail. And this girl was like, ha, 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 and like laughing along, and I was like, okay, this is going well. I've got a chat. Basically, at that point, I coughed. And I didn't want to cough and embarrass myself, so I went to stop myself from coughing and just went all over the fridge. I just spat on the fridge. Like, I was talking to her, and I just spat at the fridge. And there was an awkward silence as to what happened. So she was laughing, I was laughing. That's my love life. This is what, alright, you drove out of me. I hope you're happy. I'm fuming. Wasted opportunity. Okay? And this is why the podcast has so many analogies, because it's absolutely shocking. But so you're coughing now. Let's catfish Liam, let's not. If you have any Eagles questions that aren't about my love life, that'll be massively appreciated, because we're now in well after dark territory, and I'm not sure how much more I can stomach of that before this gets very bad. I know we've got a personal relationship, me and you. Alright, you don't see the big ESPN writers sitting here talking about spitting over fridges. That's an out of context quote I really don't want anywhere else. At least I have a love. It's very minimal, Geordie. I wouldn't call it that, mate. I really wouldn't. Let's see. I'm glad that you guys enjoyed it, though. You know, I always thought everything happens to me purely so I can write a novel at 40 and become the New York Times bestseller. But if we can take that into Eagle streams, and we'll go there. Why do I have a love life? Oh, God. I think the question is, do I have one, which is not really. Should we get a B? I don't know. Okay, I had to click the link, check numbers now. Oh, okay, let's have a look. So the chances of chances of Sonny Michel being called up. I like that. I genuinely think they're quite high. So let's have a look. Are we getting a subscriber? It might just be taking a while. Don't worry. I believe you. I'm not gonna. Maybe we've just like it's okay. I believe you. We're all here. Yeah, I think that genuinely Michel could get called up next week. I think that the move would be to get rid of Opeta, who they literally brought onto the main roster just to get. They didn't want to lose him, so there was a team that wanted him off the practice squad. They cut Jordan Matthews, or Mac, I think it was Jordan Matthews. They brought him up and then just left him there. Like, even then when they cut Matt Collins, like, he's just sat there now. So if that team has actually got a substitute guard, it just makes sense to send him back down, doesn't it, now? So if they can do that and get away with it, and then you call Mark and Michel up. The problem with Mark and Michel, though, is that he does have a very similar... excuse me, I'm losing my voice. He's got a very similar skill set to like Greg Ward Jr. in the fact that he's almost like Boston Scott. Like in the CFL, he was a hybrid, like a rusher and a receiver, which I know isn't positions, I know, but he was a running back and a receiver, dual threat, just lined up anywhere, was an absolute monster. But he's a smaller guy, so he's kind of limited to slot responsibilities, which is where he burned Adoree Jackson in the Titans game. He's just, I don't know, like you've got to have a role for him. That's a gadget type player, which would technically replace Aguilar if Aguilar stays down. If Aguilar stays down, bring him up and have a little flutter, see what you can do with him. But if Aguilar's back up, there's no point in really bringing him back from there. Big V has shown he can handle the role. Do you know what? Big V might be the most slandered Eagles player of all time. Not all time, but recently. Like, he comes under so much hassle, bless him, and like so much criticism. He's thrown in left, right, guard, so like wherever, and does all right every time. He's not great. He's not bad. He's always all right. He holds the fort down. He holds down the LJ fort. Okay, and then you have obviously Andre Dillard goes right, gets obliterated, but everyone's like, oh, he's a first round pick. Oh, be nice to him, right? Vito goes in, does all right. No one cares. Today, Lane Johnson goes down. Vito holds his own, right? Jordy Fighter says, anyone remember Bam Bam Crumpets and Thick Boy Mints? Oh, what a throwback that is to preseason. Jay Fizzles, I'm game for AB if we can really get a ring this year. Give Carson a true healthy one. Yeah, but do you not think, I mean, if we are to play devil's advocate, and this is playing devil's advocate, and say Alshon Jeffrey is unhappy and he has been a bit saucy, right? Catch on what I'm saying, saucy, yeah, right? Bringing in Antonio Brown isn't going to help much because now he's just going to get even more annoyed that it just as he starts coming back and like if he is, if he's down, if Alshon goes down and he's out for a few weeks, consider Antonio Brown. Consider it. And I mean loosely, as in like you've had a bad relationship with your ex, but she wants to go for coffee. You think about it. You don't jump at the gun because it might not end well. She might poison you. But, alright, if Alshon's down, you debate it. You dabble. Have a little chat. Phone up Drew Rosenhaus, who also represents Sam Bradford, and get fleeced again, because that'll go well. Gary gets burned on Pierre. Like, yeah, that's Gary's main thing. He's like a Jalen Mills as a linebacker. Like, he flies down and then doesn't really think. Like, and if he hits it, jackpot, brilliant. If he doesn't, it's embarrassing. And that's the thing. He's just got to refine that a bit, tone it back, and be a bit more composed. It's Kelsey shot. Is Kelsey shot? Do you keep Michel and Ward for next season? Well, you can bring them back on futures deals. So they're probably going to get an off-season shot anyway. Like, they'll just get brought back on futures if they have to. Hey LJ, what happened to the Bam Bam shirts? Oh, he did say shirts. I don't think I printed them. I thought it was quite a niche, the Bam Bam Crumpet shirts. I thought it was only like 4 or 5 of us that knew what it was. So it would have been walking around with that on. Unlike the PSN Christmas sweaters, which you can tell is Christmas. It's a little bit more niche. Like, I want something you can wear all year round, and someone go, oh my god, PSN, I'm part of that too. I'm on Discord. Wow, we're friends. Let's go bowling. Yeah. That's what we're saying. Also, Liam, meant to ask you on the stream, you said you want Dan Quinn as OC, but he's a defensive coach. What do I think he can bring to the offense? More than Mike Groh, would be my simple answer. My fear is you have a Juan Costello situation. Yeah, that's fair. But you have to hope that's a one-off, right? You have to hope it's a one-off. I'm here till Wednesday. No, genuinely though, it's something I want to do a big sort of video and article on in the off-season. Like, I want to take a look at all the available candidates and who's going to fit where and who would be the best fits and the worst fits. Like, if you saw it, I did like the running back video before the draft, and I graded like the top running backs that would fit I want to do that, but for coordinators and coaches. So there'll be a lot of stuff coming this off-season. Like, we're going to load. Hey, I've got a green screen now, right? We're going to load you guys up with as much as you can take. So we'll see what we can do. A potato would bring more than... Yeah, I'd agree with that. Just not a sandwich behind the fridge that I could probably spit on. That wouldn't be good, would it? So, yeah, we'll leave that. Right, okay, so you know what? How many minutes is that? I can't work this out. My head is so fried. We're 77 minutes in. Should we get to 100 minutes? Should we do a 100-minute stream? That's 23 minutes. That's a lot of minutes. And it's super late for you guys. But it does bring me to bang on 7 o'clock. I don't know. We'll see. PSN dad hats. That would be cool. They need to let Wentz pick who he wants. Yeah. Give Wentz a big board and was like, right, Carson, have Wentz be... Can you have players as part of your interview process? I don't know if there's a rule against that or not, or if it's just like they're excluded from it. But it would surely make sense to have a quarterback there as part of the interview process so he can get a feel for the guys working with. I'd like that. I think that'd be a really good sound idea. I don't know if it's logical or whether there are like NFL negotiation laws between agents and... I don't know. But I think having Wentz in the interview room with them would make a lot. And the QB coach as well, because Press Taylor, we haven't really seen him do anything this year. Lethal Talent is in the stream. Nice of you to join in, man. Thank you for coming on. He says, go Bird. E-A-G-L-E. See, when I haven't got the voice for that, if I do the Eagles chant, I'm like, E-A-G-L-E-S. Come on, Liam, you're in overtime now. I'm in overtime. I'm in overtime. How long do I expect Jordan Howard to be out for? I don't know the extent of the injury. They're very sneaky with that. So I'd like to say a couple more weeks, because I think McLean put out last week that it was like meant to be 4 weeks. So you'd like to assume next week or the week after, but again, I don't know. Please continue. The longer you stream, the less time I have to spend at my awkward family gathering. Wait, what time is it in Australia then? I'm going to cut it off now. No, I'm kidding. That's mad. Jeez. Fair play. I appreciate the hustle of you avoiding the family meeting just to come into the stream. Fair play to you, man. I rate that. Thank you very much. I'm very honoured to be your distraction and not like, I don't know, Angry Birds 3, because replacing Angry Birds 3 has always been a goal of mine. Let's be fair though, if we find out Groves had a major and in second half, let's give him props. Yeah, like, no one should be calling for Groves' head if it comes out it was his idea. And it wouldn't surprise me if there's like an Inquirer article out later this week that says, oh, Mike Grove sat down with Doug over a cup of coffee and said, Duggington, we need to move Boston Scott around in the second half. Like, that sort of thing will come out. Because that's what they do now, apparently, just during the week. According to sources, Malcolm Jenkins was the only one that didn't like padded practice. According to sources, Zach Brown this, and like that, I don't know. So it wouldn't shock me at all. I mean, bearing in mind that was the same one that put out the Schwartz thing. Then a week later, Schwartz does amazing. So 5:39 p.m. That's so crazy. That's literally like, there are so many time zones to focus on right now. The players on the field are the reason Wentz's season as gone as it has. He still doesn't have terrible numbers. Yeah, I mean, he's got 3,000 yards. What was the graphic that said in between the Book of Eli for the first time since 20... No, it's most in history, isn't it? Most in Eagles history, so 3 in a row. Can an Eagles fan from Texas get a shout out? I take a lot of heat. No. I'm kidding, Ian. Of course you can. Big shout to you, Ian Capeda. I hope I said that right. For being in the Lions Den, repping the Eagles, and more importantly, you in a live stream at the dead hours of the morning with 74 other people talking about your team. That's hustle. That's heart. I respect you. Well done. Jimmer of Sears. Jimmer of Schwartzington. I don't think we can leave Jimmer of Schwartzington. I can't call anyone else Jimmer unless we get another Jim. And that, Duggington, Jimmer of Schwartzington. We need to have names. Old Jimmer of Schwartzington. You need him in. Mike Grove's job for me is still very much on the bubble. Like, very much on the bubble. Is Lars still... Should we give Lars another go? Should we see if his microphone works yet? Or not? Should we try it? We're going to give it a go. Is it working? Hello? Hang on, are you there? Oh, he's echoing. Oh, I got. Oh.
Liam?
He's here! Oh my god, it's worked! We've got Lars in. It's a bit echoey, but we'll take it. So what I'm going to do, because I can hear my voice coming out of your... Oh, it's going to get messy, isn't it? Right. I'm trying to... Okay, shoot me your takeaways from the game.
Well, first and foremost, when you looked at the first half, it gave me some pretty stark reminders of, let's say, if I'm going to kind of date myself here just from among some of my favorite films, but if anyone remembers Rocky 1, when he first comes out to train, like the first jog around the city, it's dark, it's dreary, the song is Philadelphia Morning. That song was running through my head every single time I saw Darby get toasted by Darius Slayton.
I don't know what song is going to have on Darby. It's not a positive one.
No, it's very good. When you watch that scene, he's just running around, he's puffing. He just looks like a bum club fighter. And he finally gets to the top of the stairs, and he looks like an absolute wreck. Nowhere near what it is when he actually goes up the stairs later in the film. But this is like, I'm like, my God, this is happening again. They're literally going to be the GOATs again.
Yeah.
And this time it gets... Like, we were literally living the nightmare that we were anticipating in some fashion, knowing how bad it was last week when Fitzpatrick tore them a new you-know-what. I'm like, dear God, it's going to happen again.
And
but
it almost did. I mean, Darius Slayton did have 154 yards.
Yeah, and pretty much all of that came in the first half. I remember Ruben Frank from NBCSN Philadelphia after the game said Philadelphia outgained the Giants in the second half. What was it, like 308 to 23 or something like that? It was.
They had 30 second half yards.
But anyway, one of the most important plays, I think, in that game, in the overtime, remember the run that Miles Sanders had to get it inside the 10?
Yes.
That block by Vitae on that wham block on the inside sprung that run to get inside the 10. That is a loss of 3 on the play, and all the momentum is stopped if Vitae doesn't make that block. Mm-hmm. Instead, it was a gain of 13.
Like timing, yeah.
Yeah, they were able to collapse it. And Vitae made that crucial block off the edge, and it sprung Miles Sanders to get to the outside and to make that big run. But now, Liam, I have to ask you a very important question, and I have to ask a lot of Eagles fans this question.
Oh, God.
Does winning the division help this team the next 5 years?
Okay. Does winning a Super Bowl help the next 5 years?
Now, do you have any sort of confidence in this team that they can win the Super Bowl?
No.
Let me ask you. It's probably slim and none.
But it's like, I've just realised someone's entering like my office. But anyway, I think like at the end of the day, you've got to be in it to win it, right? So you've got to buy a ticket to enter the raffle, and if Super Bowls are attainable, which you have to be in the playoffs to do it, it would make sense to just kind of give it a run, give it a shot, and see what happens. Like, it's not going to substantially help, but it won't harm the franchise. Like, the main thing it's going to do is give Carson Wentz playoff experience, which is something he hasn't had. So I know it's not the biggest be-all, end-all, but to get a young quarterback playoff experience, we've seen what it meant for Russell Wilson in previous years, like, and a couple of the other young guys as well. It would help a bit, I think, in that regard.
I think this is my concern. If they win the division,
your microphone's gone really echoey. Oh God, it's all gonna be. There's a lot of echoes going on. Oh, He might have fixed it. I don't know. Potentially. But lethal talent being like you're saying, there's a chance. Yeah, I think that's what it ultimately comes down to. Is, for me at least, like it's easy to look at it and say, would you rather a top 10 pick, which have the Eagles drafted outside of Carson Wentz, a top 10 pick, outside of Dillard we haven't seen yet, that we can go, oh, we can hang our hat on, that's the guy. Barnett, to me, hasn't shown that. I don't think will be the only other one we can look at. Second round picks, Sidney Jones. Third round picks, you've seen Rasul Douglas be your average guy. Did you get the further you go down, the worrying it gets, you get Matt Collins, Donnell Pumphrey, obviously Shelton Gibson's another failed experiment. Like, there's a few different things where you're like, okay, draft capital is cool, but is it really going to help them that much if the team can't draft? Like, would you not much rather have a shot at the big time? Like, you can take, if I was going to say to you, have £50 on blackjack or £10 on roulette, I'd take blackjack every time. Because you know you've got a 50-50 shot, which is what the playoffs are. Whereas roulette, what is the chance of hitting on a draft pick? So, Lars isn't here because his microphone's gone a bit quiet, but I'll pretend. He goes, you know what, Liam, you're dead right, and I fully agree with you. Wow, you're the greatest person I've spoke to in my life. And that's exactly what he'll say. But let's see. Oh, he's back? Okay, so the microphone's there's still some problems with the microphone, man. A little bit. Oh, keep the volume back up. I'm not sure. We'll see. Let's see what you guys are saying in the chat in the meantime. Double O, James Bond is in the chat. Okay. This Eagles team is shaken, not stirred. If we make the playoffs, we get the Sean Jackson back of fire. That opens up a lot of things and puts a great playmaker on the field. This team with more speed could spoil some balls. Yeah, that's it. Tanking's for quitters. If we tank, we still get only a 13 or worse. Tanking's on option. We need to continue to build it. Yeah, that's the thing. I think, do you know what? Hi to you, hi, has probably hit that on the head. Like, I mean, so Lars is gone. Lars, bless him. Like, I know we tried to get it to work. I'm sorry, Lars. We gave it our shot. I think you genuinely hit the nail on the head there, where imagine if this team lost today. Imagine that first half was replicated in the second, and it ended up 34-6. And it was a runaway win for the 2-9 Giants. And then they go and face the Redskins. And then have to face the Cowboys, okay? That culture doesn't change in 12 months. What you've then got is a group of veterans who've been on that Super Bowl winning team and just slowly get away from that culture into one of complacency and a lack of accountability. That galvanization is there, and this Eagles team, be it playoffs or not, have a direction and a purpose now. The purpose is the playoffs. It's not kind of like one money here, one bit of money there, wherever. They know where they're going, which is to the playoff. That's where it's tunnel vision now. They've got a goal again. It's that one-track mind, and you lose that. Like I said before last week's stream, it's very, very easy to get like, what's the word? Like top of the mountain syndrome. Where if you win, everything, like you get to the top of your profession and you achieve it, it's like, brilliant, what next? For the first time, I think, since then, the Eagles have a direction. They have a tunnel vision again. They've got something to aim for, which is the playoffs. So I would absolutely like to see that, moving forward. And I think that part is valuable. Whether they make playoffs or not, driving for it and the journey, trust the process and all that, something everyone in Philadelphia is familiar with, I think is massively, massively, massively important. Are we still on? We're on 12 plus 87. What's 12 plus 87? 19, right. One more person joins Discord. We're on 100 users on Discord, okay? If someone joins that link, it's free. You can talk to me, to Brandon, to Jay Fizzle, to Geordie, to everyone who has been around this chat tonight, okay? For free. It's our community. You have voice chats. You can meet new friends if you're a big Eagles fan. But maybe you're like me, I wasn't popular at school, all right? If you're a young fan and you go through school and you're like, oh, all my friends are Cowboys fans and they're horrible when they pick on me, come home. Talk to your Eagles family. We're right here, okay? PSN, Discord, click that, join, it's free, and then we'll have 100 members and I'll get a bit soppy. We're at 88 plus 11, that is 99. Technically it's 100 because I'm in it, but I'm not counting that, so I'd like to make it Discord is essentially, David, one massive group chat where it doesn't have limits, so it's just as many people as we can get in, and there's different groups within that. So there's an Eagles one, Phillies, Union. You can have text chats where everyone's talking to each other, so from this YouTube chat, or there's like audio chat. So if you, I don't know, get talking to someone, you're like, hey, do you want to go play a game of Madden? And you can go in there. You can go in there and play a bit of Madden. Do I remember that one stream I said you're a man of the people? I do, and it's haunted me ever since. But I'd like to think I kind of am. It's a service server that refuses to let me on. Oh, okay. I'm not sure why. Like, it's totally legit. I wouldn't bring you anything. I wouldn't bring you into anything dodgy. Put it that way. 89 plus 10. No, it's 99. I'm trying to work out the numbers and keep an eye on it. How are we doing with regards to subscribers? Have we gained? It's still saying the same. So, David Mabry. So, the link is there if anyone wants it. 8 minutes and we've hit 100. I don't think I've ever hit 100-minute stream before. Guys, it's 6:53 in the morning here. I'm going to be up in a bit to type up recaps and do This Week in Philadelphia Sports on a Tuesday. Alright? Because the Eagles played Monday night. If you're not subscribed yet to this channel, it will be absolutely amazing if you could. Like I said, I mean, we want to do these every single week. We want to bring you daily content. If you could be a part of that community, it would be amazing to have you on board. Like, we want to try and separate ourselves from most other media outlets. Like, again, I know you get a lot of like post-game podcasts and stuff like that. You don't really get a live stream where the writer that you read, I don't think it's me, will sit with you and have a chat and have a talk and just like talk Eagles. And you can come on the show and have your opinions heard, like a radio show, but without the, and I'm trying not to swear, the annoying presenters. All right, like we just want to have as much fun as we can and make it about you guys. And yeah, like obviously some of you watch the YouTube videos, you never know our website exists. Other people, it's their first time discovering YouTube and they may not use computers a lot and they may not know what a Discord is. Like, we want to bring all people of all ages and all demographics together to be officially LJ till dawn now. Like, that's the aim. We just want to build a massive community. And I think 89, we've done it! We've got 100! 100 people are in the Discord server. That's mad. Like, that is mad. Thank you so much. Like, that makes my heart so happy. There's over 100. I'm actually going to cry. That's mad. There's 100 people. 100 real people. It's Renee's birthday. Alright. Big shout to Renee. Oh, I know it's in like every stream. Thank you for all of your... Oh, I'm just going to get soppy for 6 minutes now, aren't I? Thank you for all of your support, Renee. I hope you have a fantastic birthday. I won't ask you how old you are because some people get a bit, you know, they don't like revealing it. But I'm sure you'll have a lovely day. I hope it's surrounded by your family and friends and you get everything you can wish for, including an Eagles win, which is about as much as we could get from this team given the current state. That's crazy. David, thank you for coming on, man. That's really sweet of you. Bleeding Green says, proud of Wentz and team in comeback, but being down 17-3 to a 210 team to begin with keeps reminding me how they can't seem to put an entire game together. Yeah, I agree with that. That's a very fair take, man. Like, you've got every right to feel that way. And do you know what? Believe it or not, I do think that there will be some repercussions. Like, the coaching staff aren't going to get off scot-free. They're going to have a lot to answer for this week because they endured a lot. They almost got humiliated at home. Again, and there was a point in the third quarter, the fans were booing the offense to a point where Ertz had a false start. It was like they were like making a hissing noise as if, like, you know, you have I don't know what it's called. Like, we call it chants in England, but everyone's like, oh, like to intimidate the other offense. They were doing that to their own bloody offense. Like, they put half a one, and it was a bloody good half, and we can take that. Hi says, need to keep Carson on the move. Completely agree. Mario says, we closed the book of Eli. Thank God. If we never open that again, I'm happy. That was awful. That was, honestly, don't get me wrong, I like ESPN's animations. It makes up for Booger McFarlane's lack of anything. But the book of Eli was a waste of time. David says, yes, sir, thank you for everything you do for the fan. Oh, don't, I'm going to cry again now. Like, it's a blessing, man. Hey, there'll be a big soppy video, like, towards the end of the year, where I just kind of go back and look. Because obviously, if you've only just joined this channel for a while, like, I've been doing this for 5 years. And I've only been doing it full time since April 19th this year. And I'm actually going to cry because it just hit me, if I'm honest. I'm so sorry, it just hit me a bit. Jeez, I know I always joke about being soppy, but that just hit me. Like, I couldn't be happier. And happy birthday to Renee, he's 49. That's amazing. I hope you have a lovely day. But genuinely, like, it's just a blessing to be able to do this. Like, I've been here for nearly 100 minutes, over an hour and a half, at 7 in the morning, just talking Eagles, with close to 100 of you in a live chat. There's 100 of you in Discord. There's a community. Like, there's a community of Eagles fans that somehow I've started. That's the most humbling thing imaginable. Like, for me, it's not really it's not really about like the money and stuff. Like, it's amazing to have an office and all that, and it's nice to be able to call it my full-time job, but I'm never going to be a guy that like swans around and like flexes and puts loads of money in stuff that's not needed. Like, my main aim is to bring people on full-time. Like, I want people to feel this, and like, I want my writers to be full-time writers, and that they can walk away from their jobs and have that same kick. Like, that's my dream now. Like, I just want as many people to experience that as I can, and give as many opportunities to this community as I can. And like the Discord thing, and like bringing you guys on videos and shows and like podcasts and having questions. Like, I don't like, to me, it was always just trying to be different. And you've got your bigger blogs, and they're funded by parent companies like Bleeding Green Nation. I'm a big fan of Mike and Ben. I love them to bits. Like, they're amazing people. They're so talented. It's owned by a parent company. I don't have that kind of fun. It's just me. So it's my money that's paying everything, you know? And like, it's never been about that for me. It's never been about money or it's just been about wanting to have fun. And if I can create a home for people in the same way that you've created a home for me, I'm happy, because it's just saying out loud, just kind of hits you a bit. Like, I'm the luckiest guy. I'm in England, a million miles away, and I've got a family of Eagles fans, 70 of you at 7 a.m. my time. I couldn't be happier. I really couldn't. So just thank you so much. I'm going to try and drag this out to 100, I promise. I'm just reading all your comments. I don't want to read them out because it will seem really egotistical, and I promise it's not. But I'm just absolutely blown away. Like, it blows my mind every time like we have one of these streams, because the numbers stay the same. Like, there are so many. Like, Jay Fizzle was at a bus station. Like, that's mad. Like, at a bus station in a live stream. Like, that, the phone data you must use on that. Like, the thing is, like, what it is, okay, if I know we're here for 99 minutes, okay, and all the Eagles chat's been gone for now. I know we're all just sort of having a bit of a sock fest. But, like, for me, I've lost sort of train of thought now. Oh, what was it gone? Do you know what? I had it. It was a really good, I keep reading all the comments and getting distracted. I'm really happy it's made your day better, Duck and Lloyd. Thank you so much, and Brandon and David. I'm just going to thank all of you in a minute. I had a really good point as well, and it's gone. Oh, no, that was okay. Basically, right, found it. We're back. It's all right. Stop's gone. So, I've lost it again. Yeah, no, it was about like, I've lost it. See, when I'm talking Eagles, I'm fine. Any other situation, I can't do it. But genuinely, having come from nothing in a very weird way, it was the most Philly thing. Like, if you know me a little bit, you know the background. And like, when I first started, I was 19. Okay, so there'll be some of you here, like Renee, 49, who have like seen that growth as like, I guess, from an older perspective. There are some of you who are younger, and like maybe 12, 30, maybe even younger than that, and are like, I want to do this, or like, I want to go and do it. And like, to go from where everyone resented me, like, and bearing in mind, like, if you imagine going into your workplace and seeing someone that you've never met from a different country give an opinion on a topic that you're passionate about, it's not like fundamentally like wrong to be like, what does he know about it? Like, I would have been the same. Like, what? Like, it's like someone coming to me and going, Charlton are bad this year. But like, what do you know? You don't watch them. And it's the same thing. So I had to grind that up. So I had to like build up that respect from people. And I think because I remember what it was like, where I had so much abuse, and I still get it now in the comments, like you guys see it, but I don't care because I get this. And like, but I've gone from that to this, I will never not get teary or emotional or soppy when saying goodbye, because I remember what it was like without it, and how rare and lucky and special this is. And as a community, how passionate you are. And I don't just mean as Eagles fans. Like, look at the chat. Just scroll up. Like, you're talking with people you've never met who have one thing in common with you, and that's that they love the Eagles. They could be from different countries, different races, different sexualities. Doesn't matter. You're family, you know? And that's special. Like, Eagles fans if you've ever joined an Eagles group on Facebook, it's a train wreck, half of them. Everyone hates everyone. They're being abusive. They're insulting people. Like, it's racist half the time. It's horrible Facebook groups for Eagles fans. Like, it's just an absolute train wreck. Whereas here, everyone respects everyone. Everyone gets on. People have made friends and started playing games together. That's special to me. Like, that's what it's all about. And I will never not be thankful for that, because that's everything to me. So thank you so much. And I promise you, like I said it right at the start of the stream, if you give me everything, I will give you 100% back. And I'll get everything I've got every day. That's a guaranteed promise. So just thank you so much for being with me for the last 100 minutes. I know we're at like 7 a.m. my time. It's like 2 a.m. your time. So thank you for absolutely everything. You're the best damn fans imaginable. And I'm incredibly lucky to have you. So just, I'm going to probably go and have a little cry now. But genuinely, I just couldn't be happier. So enjoy your Sunday night. It's Monday, isn't it? It's Tuesday. Right. Enjoy your Monday evening. Get some sleep. Enjoy work tomorrow. Enjoy school tomorrow. Enjoy your birthday tomorrow. And just know that you've got a home here. Like, no matter what happens in life, good, bad, ugly, success, failure, you've got a family of Eagles fans here on this channel, in that Discord, on Twitter, that will support you through it. That's cool. And that's what I'm most proud of this year. So just thank you for absolutely everything, man. I'm blown away. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and I'll talk to you soon before I start crying again.